Some homes look expensive the second you walk in, not always because they cost more. Sometimes they just avoid the little mistakes that make a room feel cheap. Today, we're looking at 10 things that can make your home look cheap, and most of them don't require a huge renovation to fix. Let's start in the living room. Bernard, help us out.
Floor plan decisions affect your daily life more than almost anything else. The first thing is furniture that's too small. A lot of people think smaller furniture makes a room feel bigger, but it can actually do the opposite. A tiny sofa, a small coffee table, or chairs that don't match the size of the room can make the space feel unfinished. Expensive looking living rooms usually feel balanced. The furniture fits the room, the coffee table fits the sofa, the seating area feels connected. It doesn't have to be expensive, it just needs to look like it belongs there.
So, tiny furniture doesn't make the room look bigger. It just makes the furniture look scared. Got it.
Exactly. The next one is lighting. A single ceiling light can make a living room feel flat and basic. Better looking rooms usually have layers of light. A floor lamp, a table lamp, maybe a softer accent light in the corner. That creates warmth, depth, and a more finished feeling. And finally, too many small decorations. When every shelf, table, and corner has tiny items everywhere, the room starts to feel cluttered. More expensive looking homes usually use fewer pieces, but with more intention. A larger vase, framed print, a clean coffee table. A room needs breathing space. Sometimes the cheapest looking thing in a room isn't what you bought, it's how much of it you kept on display.
So the living room doesn't always need more stuff. Sometimes it needs fewer tiny things trying to be important. Now let's move to the bathroom. The room where one tiny mirror and one sad little faucet can make the whole space feel like it came free with the house. Bernard, please save us.
The first bathroom mistake is using a mirror that's too small. A tiny mirror over a large vanity can make the whole bathroom feel cheaper and less finished. A larger mirror usually makes the room feel brighter, wider, and more intentional. It doesn't have to be custom or expensive. It just needs to fit the space properly. The second mistake is flat, generic finishes. This is when everything looks plain. Plain walls, plain tile, plain vanity, no contrast, no texture, no depth. A more expensive looking bathroom usually has at least one thing that adds character. That could be a warmer wall color, a textured tile, a wood vanity, matte black hardware, or even a marble look porcelain tile. You don't need real marble to create that look. You just need materials that feel chosen, not random.
So basically, the goal is not to make the bathroom look like a hotel lobby, just less like nobody made a decision.
Exactly. And the third mistake is cheap builder-grade fixtures. A basic faucet, basic towel bar, basic vanity light, and basic shower head can make the whole bathroom feel unfinished. The good news is fixtures are often one of the easiest things to upgrade over time. Even changing the faucet, mirror, and lighting can make a bathroom feel much more polished. Small changes matter here because bathrooms are compact spaces. Every detail is easier to notice.
So in the bathroom, the small stuff is not really small. Good to know. Next up, let's talk about the kitchen. A place where people spend thousands of dollars on countertops and cabinets and then leave 17 different appliances on display. Bernard, take it away.
This is one of the fastest ways to make a kitchen look cheaper than it really is. Coffee makers, air fryers, paper towels, containers, charging cables. Before long, the countertop starts doing the job of a storage room. Expensive-looking kitchens usually have one thing in common: clear space. That doesn't mean the owners don't use their kitchen. It simply means everything has a place. When the counters are cleaner, the materials and design of the kitchen get a chance to stand out. The second mistake is cheap cabinet hardware. Many kitchens come with very basic handles and knobs. Most people barely notice them, but they interact with them every single day. Changing cabinet hardware is often one of the simplest upgrades you can make. And surprisingly, it can completely change how expensive a kitchen feels.
Wait a second. So after all the planning, measuring, shopping, and spending, we're now judging kitchens based on cabinet handles? Home design can be ruthless.
Yeah, it sounds dramatic until you see it. Small details add up. And speaking of details, the third mistake is mixing too many finishes and styles together. For example, black cabinet handles, chrome faucets, gold lighting, and completely different materials all competing for attention. On their own, none of those things are bad. The problem is when they don't work together. Expensive-looking kitchens usually feel consistent. The colors, materials, and finishes support each other instead of fighting for attention. You don't need everything to match perfectly, you just want the room to feel intentional.
All right, we've talked about the living room, we've talked about the bathroom, we've talked about the kitchen, and if you're keeping score at home, you've probably noticed something interesting. Almost none of these things required spending a ridiculous amount of money. Which brings us to the bonus round, the little things, the things people rarely think about, the things that somehow end up affecting an entire room anyway. Bernard, what do you have for us?
Let's start with curtains, because this is one of those details people often install once and never think about again. Most homeowners place curtain rods just above the window. It's understandable. The window is there, the curtains go above. It makes sense. But visually, it can make a room feel shorter and smaller than it really is. Mounting curtains higher can completely change the proportions of a room. The windows feel larger, the ceilings feel taller, and the room feels more open.
Which certainly sounds a lot cheaper than raising the actual ceiling.
Significantly cheaper, and that's really the point. Many expensive-looking homes aren't necessarily bigger. They're just better at creating the impression of space.
All right, so basically, the room isn't changing. We're basically changing the way people experience it.
Exactly. And that leads perfectly into the final tip, lighting. Not the fixture, not the lamp. The actual light itself. Most people don't think much about light bulbs until they accidentally end up with 3 different colors throughout the house.
Yup, the classic strategy. One bulb from the hardware store, one from the grocery store, one found in a drawer from 2017.
It happens more often than you'd think. The problem is that every room starts feeling disconnected. One room feels cold, another feels warm, another feels somewhere in between. And even if visitors can't explain what's wrong, they often notice that something feels inconsistent. Good design is often about consistency, not perfection. Consistency. That's true for furniture, it's true for finishes, and it's definitely true for lighting.
Which is funny because nobody ever walks into a house and says, "Wow, fantastic bulb temperature choices."
No, but they do notice how the room feels, and that's what matters. The reality is that homes rarely look expensive because of one giant feature. Usually it's dozens of small decisions working together, some good, some bad, and over time those decisions create the overall impression people have of a space.
And that's probably the biggest lesson from today's video. A home doesn't need to be bigger, it doesn't need to be newer, and it definitely doesn't need to cost a fortune. Most of the time, it's the little decisions that people remember. Thanks for watching, and if you learned something new today, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment what you learned, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.